recognise people for all their qualities and their acts of kindness and consideration that we give. But before I start, I need to perhaps answer a question which I can hear coming out of your minds. Where's the big man? Well, if you look to the person to the left or right of you, you will see them in that person. And of course, he has also sent down the Holy Spirit to be with us today. So that's where he is. You mean the other fellow, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. Okay, well, he isn't here. For a reason. As you're aware, Les is about to undertake some surgery in the near future. And we felt that it was a prudent precaution for him not to even catch a cold in the close proximity of other people. I'm not saying that you have colds, but as a precaution, because when he undertakes his surgery, he will need to be in the best of health. And also, don't forget, he's recently recovering from COVID, so he needs to be strong physically to be able to undertake the surgery and then have post-surgical recovery. And I'm sure you'll all understand and agree with that. So there are no surprises, and to let the cat out of the bag. This, by coincidence only, happens to coincide with his forthcoming retirement at the end of the year. The surgery and the retirement are not coincident, okay? One is not related to the other. It was the plan anyway, and if he wasn't having surgery, he'd be here with us now for you to be able to express your gratitude and thanks for all that he's given to us so far. But you won't have a chance to see it because we will have a farewell get-together towards the end of the year when he has recovered. And in the meantime, as a leaving gift in advance, in the blue box here, which will be on the stage, is a book of thoughts. Pens are included. Please write a message before you leave today of well wishes and anything which you would like to express to him for all that he has done for April, the organisation, and for all of us to be able to be in the place that we are now. He has caretakered April to this point. Hereafter, of course, we need to look to the future, and April does indeed have a very bright future. The Board of Trustees, and I'm sure you've met many of them already, and for those of you who haven't had a chance to have a chat to the trustees, we're here all day for you to come in and we can do some questions for you. Please do come and chat, and we can explain where things are going. So, let's talk about future-proofing April. It is important. April is not led by an individual, it's led by the main man himself. He empowers us, he gives us the Holy Spirit, who works through us, and we follow his direction. The commission is sent in the Bible, heal the sick. And that's what we do. We provide healing. So therefore, what is April's mission statement? Well, it's simply to go out there and provide healing. Healing for all, for anybody, any circumstances. We do not judge, we do not impose the healing, we offer it. So, that as trustees, we form a body of purpose that provides strategic direction for the hubs. April is all about you, in your hubs, providing that healing. So, we generate and sustain a network that establishes, trains, and underpins hubs to effect healings in Jesus' name. Yourselves, as hubs and hub members, you go out and you do that. Trained in a location, and you deliver. It's all about hubs. It's not about the trustees or the leadership group. We just provide the wherewithal for you to actually undertake that healing. So it's important. In looking towards this future, we have 4 pillars or 4 strands of approach. They are called succession planning, growth, presence, and enablement. So let me briefly talk about each one of those. The first one is succession planning. Succession planning covers what we're going to do for each element within a group. So that's for the leadership or the directorship team. It's for the trustees themselves. And it's for the hubs, for yourselves to think about how you are going to have a throughput of people to come in and take over in the future. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, it doesn't have to be next week, but it should be on your minds. How am I going to get my hub to be populated into the future, where we will get more hubs growing and we will have more people coming through our doors needing healing. So in the leadership team, whilst we're on the subject, let's talk about how we're going to make sure that that is future-proof. Well, first of all, because we now know that Wes is going to retire in the year, we are already actively recruiting for a director of ministry. Lisa, in support of that, has now been elevated from operations manager to operations director. So she has equal status or footing now with the new incumbent that will come in and replace us. So she's going to take on much of the responsibility, so that her augmented role will be very, very important to the way we go into the future. To recognise this increase in her status, we are also now thinking about drawing in someone to come in as a management assistant for operations, which will take some of the pressure off Lisa to enable her to be able to stand up alongside the new the new director of ministry. The trustee team, that's also had its ranks replenished. I am new to trustees myself. We have Sarah, who is also a new trustee, Paul, a new trustee. So the trustee team has also been refreshed with exciting new ideas, with a strategy leading out into the future. For yourselves, I would say, without any pressure, of course, obviously, but do think about how you're going to recruit to your hubs. People who are perhaps wishing to stand down, it's only fair that they should be replaced and allowed to enjoy the fruits of all their labours in time. Going on to the next pillar, we call it growth. Growth is the establishment of new hubs. We enlarge the network, we grow the network, and we have new hubs coming up in places like the Isle of Man. What else do we have, Lisa?
That's a really good good question.
Okay.
Sorry, Isle of Man,
Isle of Man,
Essex,
that's right.
Liverpool.
And Liverpool, to name just a few. We are actively looking to generate new hubs. There is a desire for this. There is a need for healings, as I'm sure you will all understand. And we are even looking into the feasibility of having an international dimension to APOR as well, where there is an appetite in places like Australia to undertake and stand up some hubs modelled on what APOR does. So in terms of expansion or growth, we have a very, very vibrant and interesting and heartwarming future to look forward to. And I'm very, very proud of that. Another work stream that we're looking at, we call presence. What is presence? Well, I asked you all who the Samaritans are. You all know, don't you? If you go past a shell garage on the road, you know what happens at that shell garage. You go past the Main Street there, you see boots and cans, you know exactly what happens inside boots and cans. The problem is, not everybody knows what APOR is. You all do. Many people do. But it's not yet that household name which everybody should be aware of. And that's what we're trying to do now. We have already revamped the computer access with our new website, which is very exciting. It's more easily navigable by people who are perhaps not so computer savvy, such as myself. But we have to look beyond this and look at other exciting and viable alternatives to advertise ourselves, so that we can get it out there. The aim being, APOR needs to be a household name. And then, of course, finally, to underpin all this, we need a thing called enablement. Fancy word, it means the money. Okay? We, as a charity, we're not a business, we're not an organisation, we are a network of hubs of healing. We are required by law to maintain a certain minimum float to cover a period of contingency. But beyond that, we very much keep it to the hands of the Lord, and He provides. Sometimes we skip down the bottom and we think, where's the future going to go on this? And the money comes in, and we live at a just sufficient, just in time. So that's not a plea for money, but I'd like you to be aware of how we do that. We are not profligate in our spending, we are very, very reserved in that respect, and our outgoings are minimal. But we can still cover events like this. So, in a nutshell, that's where we stand for our future. It is an exciting future, and be absolutely assured the future is yours. It's the hubs. It's all about you and the people to whom you provide that healing. It's not one man. Wes, I'm sure when he comes up later on the screen, he knows what I've just said now. It's not about him. He's not able. He's just a caretaker for his time span in it. And we will be handing on to a new person who will caretake for the period of shadow. So the message here is a bright future. Reassure us that it is going to be a bright future. We have a team which is passionately committed to enablement to get your host out and replenished, to get new hosts started, and to look to that future and make April a household name.